The Sleepwalker, written by Lars Kepler and read by Peter Noble.
Brought to you by Penguin Random House Canada.
This audiobook is dedicated to Saul Reichlin, who was an incredible narrator and a wonderful man. Saul was a dear friend and a mentor to me, and I am honored to be continuing the narration of this series in his memory. Sleep and dreams have always fascinated mankind, walking by our side like a couple of enigmatic companions. In Greek mythology, Hypnos was the god of sleep. He lived in a dark cave by the river of forgetfulness, and his son, Morpheus, the god of dreams, watched over him while he slept. Nowadays, science recognizes two key phases of sleep: deep sleep and REM sleep. During the deep sleep phase, the electrical waves in the cerebral cortex are long and slow. Several times a night, however, the waves become shorter and more frequent, resembling those seen in waking people. This phase is known as REM sleep because of the rapid eye movements behind the sleeper's closed eyelids. Parasomnia is the umbrella term for a group of disorders in which the brain is partially asleep and partially awake. The well-documented disorder of sleepwalking, or somnambulism, occurs in roughly 5% of all children, but it is much less common among adults. As with the majority of parasomnias, almost all sleepwalking occurs during the deep sleep phase and only lasts a few minutes. But there are also those who sleepwalk during REM sleep. For them, it is their dreams that trigger physical activities such as getting dressed, unlocking the door, and leaving the house. Prologue. The silvery light from the heavy sky shimmers in the restless rings on the puddles, in the water dripping from the roof and the overflowing zinc washtub. Mother is standing in the middle of the yard, between Grandpa's rusty old car and the woodshed. Her blonde hair is sopping wet, her bra and jeans soaked through. The pouring rain mixes with the fresh blood still weeping from her wounds, rinsing it away almost as quickly as it appears. That morning, she grabbed a knife and slashed herself all over, then tossed the blade to the floor and left the house barefoot. The boy peers out onto the porch and studies the bloody doorknob, the peeling wallpaper, the knife, and the empty bottle of vodka between his father's rubber boots. Mother spent all night talking to the jerry can in the car and the axe in the woodshed, screaming at them and pleading with the heavens to send his father home. The boy turns back into his room and watches her through the window. The rain is now lashing down on the tin roof and the window ledge in front of him. The gutters are clogged with old leaves, and they quickly overflow. The plastic-coated cable around the boy's left wrist is attached to a handrail that has been screwed to the ceiling, allowing him to move freely around his room. He can lie down in bed, stand by the window, and play with his toys on the floor. He has a troll with bright orange hair pointed like a flame, a bendy pink panther, and an American police car with lights that flashed blue the week he first got it. With the cable around his wrist, he can go out onto the porch and use the toilet, but he can't reach the front door. If he stretches as far as he can until his wrist burns and his shoulder aches, he can see the broken floor in the kitchen. His mother disappears into the woodshed and re-emerges with the axe. She stands still for a moment beside the heap of old tires and rusty engines, head bowed. The glow of the neon Ford sign illuminates the raindrops behind her. She lifts her chin and slowly turns around. She points at him in the window, then starts striding towards the house. Introduction. The Razor Crest spaceship hovers in the darkness. The woman smiles as she looks down at her son. His face is pale in the moonlight spilling in through the locked window, a slight crease between his brows. His chest and stomach rise and fall with each steady breath. After his evening bath and snack, he brushed his teeth and took the 15 milligrams of promethazine she gave him, and he is now sleeping soundly. She still feels flustered that Robert arrived while the boy was awake, meaning she had to lie and say he was a delivery man dropping off some papers. The baby monitor is focused on his sleeping body. She gets up as slowly as she can, but her movements still set the big Lego spacecraft swaying on its nylon cords. The woman tiptoes out into the hallway, closes the door, and has just started to turn the key in the lock when something thuds to the floor on the other side. Holding her breath, she presses her ear to the wood. He doesn't seem to have woken. She told Robert not to make a sound, but she can hear soft music from her bedroom. She turns the key, smooths her dress, and walks down the hall, through the door with the window in it, and past the top of the stairs. Robert is sitting in the dark with his phone in his hand. He whispers, "Sorry," and she can't help but smile when she meets his eye. With his short, curly hair, the silver coin he wears on a chain, and his bare chest, he looks like a young Roman emperor. "He's asleep," she says. "Okay. So what are we waiting for?" "The answer's always you, if you ask me." "I'm here. I came," he says, getting up. "You came, you saw, you conquered," she thinks, as she moves over to the window and pushes back the curtain, overcome by a sudden rush of anxiety. The heavy, full moon is low over the treetops, silver and scarred. Down on the driveway, Robert's rusty car is parked in the shadow of the maple. "Has he ever come home early?" he asks. "That doesn't stop me worrying," she replies, turning to him. "Come on, I grabbed a bottle of fizz from—" "Hang on." She cuts him off, raising a hand to her mouth. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. I just realized I turned the key twice." "Why does that matter?" "It doesn't. It's just me. It's, a habit. I want to be able to get in there quickly if I need to," she says as she leaves the room. The hallway is cool and dark. The vacuum cleaner has been left up against the wall, its cord wrapped around the cylinder. When she reaches her son's room, she can't help but glance back over her shoulder. Robert is in the doorway, and he holds up the bottle of sparkling rosé wine he found in the kitchen. Always so eager. She smiles, gives him a thumbs up, and then turns the key counterclockwise. The mechanism clicks. She is just about to press her ear to the door when she hears a low pop from her bedroom. Robert is standing in a pool of moonlight when she gets back, 2 full glasses in his hands. He passes one to her and looks deep into her eyes. They toast, kiss, and sip, their shadows dancing eerily over the old communion bell on the wall above the double bed. She says, sitting down on the edge of the mattress. On the screen of the baby monitor, the boy's face is calm. his chest rising and falling beneath the blue covers.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?